get started. First, I'd like to thank the Rec Club for the use of the hall today and Adair, who's live streaming today. So we're hoping that we've got better live streaming happening. We've got new microphones that are going to be worn by myself and whoever else is talking. So that goes through to the live streaming and improves the quality of the sound. We've got a number of apologies. Henry Pike, Lance Hewitt, Rebecca Young, Jan McIntyre, Ronnie James, Peter James, Raiden James, Helen Symes, Paul Tuckworth, Margaret Paxton, David Paxton, Karen Marbong, Roxanne Algio and Catherine Bishop. Any other apologies? Patricia Smith, excellent. Sorry? Jeff Bucher, yes, and I don't know if you've heard, it's very sad news that his wife has passed away, so he'll be a bit busy at the moment. Keith Stebbins, is he away as well?
No, but he's otherwise engaged.
The first speaker today is Lauren Williams from the Royal Flying Doctor Service. I'm going to switch over to Lauren and she's going to start her presentation.
So here we go. Thank you. Hello everyone, Russell here. We've got a little team of Elizabeth, myself and Julie. How are we going now? Is that better? So, Royal Flying Doctor Medical Chest on Island has taken a while. It started with a conversation with Elizabeth 3 years ago and languished in bureaucratic doldrums until we got Julie to stir the pot again. Eventually we've managed to work out all the kinks and we have a kind of a stopgap medical service available on the island where you can ring up a Royal Flying Doctor number for a telehealth consultation with a doctor. If the doctor deems you need prescription medicine, the doctor can prescribe from a medical chest we have on the island now. Thanks to the team who made this happen in the first place, as well as Paul Mabon who donated the cost of the first medical chest. I'm just trying to give a very quick overview before I hand over to Lauren from the Flying Doctor team. This is not the seaplane division of the Flying Doctors, this is a telehealth service. And we think it's a good addition to what we have on the island in terms of first responders. I'll let Lauren take the floor.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm from the Royal Flying Doctors from the Medical Chest team. I've come to talk to you today about the medical chest that you've got here on the island. Can everyone hear that okay? All right, perfect. A little bit to contextualise the history and purpose of the medical chest. The Royal Flying Doctors Service established the medical chest program in the 1940s to provide support to those who live and work. The current qualifier is more than 100 kilometres from primary or emergency healthcare. So that is the intention of the chest. The situation with Coochie having a chest is quite unique. It's the first time that we've put a chest in a location like this that is quite isolated, and we definitely acknowledge that isolation. The medical chest is designed to support lay people. It is not designed to be used by doctors and nurses. It is designed to sit in the kitchen of an outhouse 300 kilometres west of Toowoomba. The doctors, when they talk to you, will refer to them usually as a number, not as a name. So when you're speaking to your medical chest custodian team, more often than not, the medicine will be referred to using a number as opposed to quite a long name. Due to the design and the intention of the chest, what the chest contains a limited fixed supply of a specific small number of medications that are designed to support acute conditions. So that is something that has come on unexpectedly. It is short term. So that's the intention of the chest. There's a lot of antibiotics in the chest. There's medications designed to support with vomiting, those sorts of things. Again, those sorts of conditions that you wouldn't be expecting and that you might be struck down with quite quickly. As Russell alluded to, you're looking at it as a stopgap. The medical chest is not designed to and cannot support chronic conditions. It can't support what you would regard as a pre-existing condition, something that you already know you have. Chances are you're receiving a medication for that is not located in the chest. It cannot be regarded as a backup system for your existing medications. Whatever medication you're already taking, it's not in the chest. What is in the chest is limited and designed to support something that rapid onset, unexpected, acute, and will resolve quickly, or that you will be able to get to a healthcare provider to get support with. Does that all make sense? So the medical chest system does not replace your existing care provider. To access a medicine from the medical chest, you have to call the Royal Flying Doctors Acute Telehealth Service. You have to speak to one of our acute telehealth doctors. There are medicines in the chest that if you were to go to a pharmacy, you could buy over the counter. It doesn't matter. If it's in the chest, you have to talk to the doctors first. If you call the custodians and ask for the medicine and you haven't spoken to the doctor first, they will tell you to call the doctors because that's what we impose upon them. When you talk to the doctor, you need to provide your name, your location, the medical chest number, which the custodians will have a system for getting that out to you. It's Q3003, which I have memorised. Your phone number. When
The patient has to tell the doctor the chest number?
Yes. And your location. When you tell the doctor that you're on Coochie Mudlow Island, they will be able to look up the chest that way as well. But the doctor may ask you for your medical chest number. If you were to say, I don't know the chest number, but I'm on Coochie Mudlow Island, they will be able to find it that way. They may ask for your medical chest number because that's how it works on the back end for them to release the medicine. As I alluded to at the beginning, it is a bit unusual that Coochie has a medical chest. Please, when you speak to the doctor, be very clear with them. Expect that they weren't aware you had a medical chest. We have quite a large number of telehealth doctors, and the vast majority of them don't work full-time for the RFDS. They work in emergency rooms throughout southeast Queensland or regional centres and part-time for the RFDS. This is a new thing. This is an unusual place to have a medical chest. Don't assume that the doctor will immediately know the situation on Coochie. They probably won't. When you ring telehealth, you might be speaking to a doctor located in Cairns or Mount Isa or somewhere like that. So please just be very clear to them that where you are and the specifics of your location. You'll need to provide your medical details, date of birth, your medical history, any regular medications you take, your allergies, those sorts of things. Obviously, the RFDS systems don't have access to your local GP and medical history. It is your responsibility to make sure the doctor has all the information they need to provide you with care. If the doctor releases a medicine for you, you will need to take note of the number of the medicine that you were given. They will say you can have a box of medicine number 175, which is the antibiotic Keflex, but they will refer to it with the number. You need to take note of how much to take, when and how to take it, and what the maximum you're allowed to take is. So when you go to the doctor, they hand you a written prescription, you take that to your pharmacy, your pharmacist figures out what the doctor wrote and talks to you about how to take it, when to take it, whether or not to take it with food. There's not, in this situation, a pharmacist in between you and the physician. The doctor, you have to get that information from the doctor. You have to make sure that you understand that information because the role of the custodian is to take the medicine out and give it to you. They will not have discussed your medical history with the doctor. The doctor won't have given them medical advice on how to take the medicine. You need to get that information clear from the physician. You also need to be very clear about what the next steps the doctors want you to take are. The doctor might say you can have one of these tablets and you have to go to the mainland tomorrow to see a doctor. Or they might say, you can have a box of these tablets, and if you're still not feeling well in 3 days, then you have to go and see a doctor. But you need to be very clear as to what the doctor wants you to do next. Consider the acute telehealth service as an after-hours doctor. Like those 1-3 health services, you ring them up and you go, I've got gastro, and they go, here's some ondansetron, go and see a doctor. You need to be very clear about what next steps the doctor wants you to take. The medical chest custodian will speak with the telehealth doctor to confirm which medicine to give you and how much to give you. They will confirm that with the doctor, as well as taking some other administrative details so that they can reorder the medicine. They don't discuss any other details with the doctor regarding your situation. your medical history, the reason why you're taking the medication, anything like that. All that the custodians and the doctor will talk about is give this person this box. That's it. You then need to let your regular GP or care provider know that you've spoken with the RFDS Acute Telehealth Service. When to call the Acute Telehealth Service? For assistance with an unexpected short-term illness or minor injury when you can't make contact with your regular GP or care provider. This is a stopgap. The backup, this is an after-hours doctor's service. It's not replacing your regular doctor's service. You're not using it to treat something that you've had for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months. This is a short-term, acute. It's 10 o'clock at night. We always advocate that you go back to your regular care provider who understands your history. Your known care provider is always the safest choice. When you can't get them, we will be here for you. The other important thing to note is only the RFDS doctors are allowed to release the medicines from the medical chest. You cannot ring your regular GP and say, I've got this infection, and your GP says, have you got Keflex? You can't go to the medical chest and get something out because your own GP said that you could. The only doctors who are allowed to release from the medical chest, QAS can't release from the medical chest. Nurses from community clinics can't release from the medical chest. Veterinarians cannot release from the medical chest. I need to make that very clear. It comes up a lot. Only our doctors. And in an emergency, always call 000 first. If you did need to be removed from the island at 3 o'clock in the morning, the RFDS wouldn't be involved in that. That would be managed by QAS. It might be managed by Life Flight with their helicopters. We have planes throughout far north Queensland. If you need to be retrieved from the island at 3 o'clock in the morning, that would be handled by QAS. In an emergency, please call 000 first. That is the end of my presentation. Does anyone have any questions, anything that they would clarified? Sure. Yep, so...
Can I just ask a clarifying question there? We put a fridge magnet in every letterbox on the island with the numbers. Who doesn't have one of those fridge magnets? Just a couple of people. I'll go and get a few fridge magnets and be back in about 15 minutes.
Excellent.
Does it include the number of the test?
Yes, there's two numbers to note. The first one is the Royal Flying Doctor number, and the second one is the Coochie Medical Chest number.
So for those of you on the live stream who may not have heard, there was a fridge magnet distributed that's got the phone number on it. If you don't have it, reach out to your lovely people and they'll get it for you. If you want to memorise things and you're really good at memorising things, the telehealth number is 1300 my RFDS. When you do the bits on the thing, people who are younger than 25 don't get that. They're like, what is they? And then you have to, and they're like, in the old days on the phone, there was the thing. Yeah, but yeah, 1300 my RFDS. That'll get you a doctor.
Will they require your Medicare number?
No. This service and the doctors who service it and the planes and all of that sort of stuff that backs all of this up, completely funded by donations to the RFDS. Some of it is funded by donations that go to the Queensland section, some of it is funded by donations that go to the federal section, but it is fully funded by donations. So, yeah, we don't take your Medicare number. Hi.
Do you know the medical chest number for the island,
U3003. It's on the magnets as well that have the phone number on them. Yes, and Elizabeth will show you the magnet.
But where is the chest? Like, is it
Located on the island in a secure place.
Okay, in a secret that no one needs.
Yeah.
That's where they'll come right.
Okay, so Julie's now going to tell you how to access the chest.
Before she does, can I just ask you a question? You said
Of course.
You said that Julie's the one. Can't access what you told them and she can't tell you what to do. What if you can't talk?
Oh, if you consent to it, yeah. If you consent to it, that's fine.
Sometimes people
Yeah, and that's the same in any situation. If someone took you to the hospital, you could give them permission to speak to the doctor. When you call the bank and this is my daughter, she's going to talk to you on my behalf, absolutely you can do that to the doctors. The doctors will never tell someone something without your consent, so you don't need to be concerned about that. Just in case I don't get the microphone back, I have brought for you presents. There are bumper stickers and calendars, and if there's anyone particularly business-minded, there's 2 copies of the annual report for the last financial year. You can fight over them amongst yourselves. There's some temporary tattoos, so help yourself to anything at the back table.
There's a small team of custodians on this island, and we would love it if more could join us. As Lauren said, you don't need clinical background or clinical understanding, you just need to be able to follow directions from the doctor when you get the call. The chest is kept in a secure location on the island. It's not for you to come knocking on that door to say, the doctor said I can have this. There's a phone number. Please use that phone number to access the custodian on call so that you can get your medication. Now, it may be that they ask you to come to the place where it's held, or they'll come to you. It depends on what's happening at the time. When the custodian gets a phone call, do they take the whole chest to the person's house? No, the chest weighs about 16 kilo, and I'm not going to lug that around on my push bike or haul it into the back of my car. The doctor will have said, give medication 175 to that person. So the custodian will take out box number 175 and bring just that box to your home for you to start taking.
Just out of interest of possibly becoming custodians, I imagine it would be a rotating roster of people depending on their availability at the time.
So we have a roster that's divided into 12-hour shifts, and you can choose to do 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, depending on your availability on the island. It's set up so you can self-roster. Russell's really clever at that, and he's put it in our phones so that we can look at it and choose the dates that we want to work. It's only as per your availability. There may be some gaps, in which case I guess I'm the stopgap for the time being. The training is really easy. There's about a 5-minute online training session that you need to do that once you've completed the questions at the end gets flicked off to RFDS as a completed assignment. You then have to provide your licence, identification, and sign an agreement form. That gets sent to RFDS, then you become authorised, and then I can authorise you to access the chest and show you how to access the chest. It's easy if you know how. We just have to follow direction. Anyone else?
Julie, or the question to Laurel, one of the things that concerns me are stonefish bites, and they generally happen during the day. Usually children in a lot of pain. Is there anything in the chest that can help with that? Is there any pain relief they can have?
There would be pain relief that would support that situation in the chest, but again we would advise that you call 000 and then QAS can...
Period of waiting for QAS.
Yeah, and that is something that really doesn't have a hard and fast answer. One of the things about the chest is it does support people in that interim time period between calling for assistance and the assistance arriving. It's designed for locations where that interval can be anywhere between 12 and 36 hours, as opposed to a long wait for an ambulance in southeast Queensland can be like 4 hours. So yeah, or more. And if you're in that situation here, you can mention to QAS that there is a medical chest on the island. They won't know what you're talking about. So it's not always necessarily a helpful piece of information to give to QAS because in southeast Queensland we don't have them. But there is pain medication available in the chest. You can call the RFDS and talk to them about it. Just because it's there, if there is help already on the way, the doctor may make the appropriate clinical decision not to release something from the chest. In that situation, you really do need to abide by what the doctor says. There's all sorts of different things at play. The 000 in the first instance, Speak to your custodians. You can call RFDS if you are really desperate, but you do need to give the RFDS clinician the full picture. We have already called 000. This is the time frame that they've given us. This is the situation that's going on. Welcome to the medical chest family. There are 1,300 chests located around Queensland. We look forward to supporting you in the future. If there's anything else that you need, you can find your custodians.
Just as a point of curiosity, out of that 1,300, find that there's almost like a regular amount that gets passed through, or some busier than others?
Yes, we absolutely have very busy ones. We have chests located in tourist locations, particularly through the north of the Great Barrier Reef and up over the Cape. We have quite a few island resorts where the medical chest is their only source of medicine, and they are only available to be helicoptered out, and they are the sorts of places where you see retrievals taking those longer 12 to 24-hour timeframes. We do have some chests that support locations such as mine sites. You see usage there for occupational injuries, falls and those sorts of things. The vast majority of our chests are located on cattle stations and agricultural stations. We see a lot of incidents that start with the phrase cow versus fence and those sorts of things. Car versus kangaroo, you see a lot. All of our chests would average at least 4 releases a year. So we do, but then there are ones where you have much higher levels of usage. So it is there to be used. Please use it when you need it. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
So again, thank you, Lauren. That was really helpful to explain what's going on with the medical chest. So this is the magnet that you would have all got in your letterboxes that we were talking about, and it doesn't say the chest number. So I'll send out an email and I'll include this and I'll put down the chest number so that you can write it on your fridge magnet at home, okay? I'll send that as a follow-up. The number was Q3003, if anyone wanted to write it down again. Now, I must apologise on behalf of our politicians because I've been rather busy myself over the last couple of months commissioning a new hospital, and I neglected to write to them early and invite them to this meeting. So we've got some updates from them, and it's not their fault that they weren't here, it's actually mine. So I apologise to you as well. Henry Pike, who is our federal MP, has given us this update, which talks about the fact that he couldn't attend today and how important our communities are, and about cost of living and economic environment. I'll send this out so that you'll all have it by email to read it in more detail. It's talking about the budget outlook and fiscal management, what they're going to do with money, housing and household pressures. We're seeing that here on Coochie. There's less and less houses available for rent and for sale, and prices are going up. Trade, defence, national, a lot of this seems far away. There's a lot more pressing issues for us here. Rebecca couldn't make it, and some of these things are closer and dearer to our heart. The ambulance station. So for a while there, we thought that the ambulance station might go to William Street, but that was kiboshed entirely. Then there's been a bit of a look at the education centre at the top of Elizabeth and Shirley Street, and they're still investigating that because part of the remit of the ambulance is to provide education as well. There is no home yet, but we've been assured that once some decisions are being made, they're going to come back to the community and tell us about what it is and give us an opportunity to input on those decisions before they're made finally. So that's all we can say about the ambulance at the moment. It's wait and see yet again. The ferry tender, it's pretty much the same situation. So we advised you a while ago that whilst the outcome was going to be known before Christmas, they weren't going to do the handover at the end of the year and disrupt services. It's going to be at the end of March. They haven't formally let anybody know what the situation is with the ferry tender. So we will still be advised about that at some stage. There will be big announcements coming out of TransLink because when we have the new ferry service in place, it'll be tap and go like the buses on the mainland. There is quite a lot of change that they have to put in place, but as I said, we don't know who has actually got the tender at the moment. The Emerald Fringe, as you would have remembered, Rebecca promised $100,000 to do an environmental look at what's going on the island, and that still hasn't eventuated. The focus is still there, but nothing much has really happened. From Lance, all he could really tell me is they'd been having some meetings about the car park resurfacing down at the front. We all know about the potholes and the terrible areas there. I've been making a list of things that we need to follow up with Lance about and get some answers. So permanent off-leash area for dogs on Coochie, the ramp at Morwong Beach, bins, the lack of, I don't know if you've noticed over summer, I've had overflowing bins everywhere. Before the markets, there were people out there with their wheelie bins cleaning up the area so we could have the markets. The reduced maintenance on Coochie. Have you noticed? We've had quite a lot of reduced maintenance. We used to have a truck come over every Friday and they would do all this stuff. Now we're lucky if we get 3 or 4 people with leaf blowers turn up on the ferry. We want some answers about what's happening with the reduced maintenance. They keep talking about us as a Tier 1 tourist designation and encourage people to come. But what are they doing to keep us beautiful and keep looking after our environment when people come here? Some of these latest days, like Australia Day, I'm told by the ferry company that we had 1,800 people and another 1,600 on one of the other days. It's a lot of people coming, dropping all their rubbish, leaving everything and causing mischief on the island as well. We've got someone who's cutting down some trees on the Emerald Fringe and we're trying to get some answers from council about that. That is somebody who lives on the island who's been seen cutting down trees, and that's just not right. Does anyone have any other issues that they want us to raise with council?
Yes, like you said, the road, the resurfacing.
Yep.
Because you did say at the last meeting some months ago, we're scheduling for January. And it's our peak summer. There's so many potholes. It's a big accident waiting to happen. Potentially, people on their bicycles and their bikes.
So it's definitely chasing that up. He was saying that the council workers were talking about whether we should have timed parking down there, and he said no. And I assured him that we wouldn't want timed parking down the front at all. We just don't want another layer of bureaucracy down there. Any other issues that you want raised with council?
It's a request that they redesign the bottom car park at the wharf at Vicky Point as well as the park area to increase the number of free car parks because the residents getting a park as well.
So we have been pursuing that with council and with the state government because that area they open up during the holidays. Rebecca's been chasing up to see whether they can actually, because that's state government, it's not actually council, about whether that could be left open and available for use as well. Council, and if you were at the last meeting, Lance was very clear that they are not planning to give us any more parking. In fact, that council car park done by Redlands Investment Corporation on the corner, it's their intention to sell that off. There's 90 car parks in there that a lot of us are using. When that goes, that's going to create even more issues with parking. They said it's not their responsibility to provide parking for us on Coochie, and he was very clear about that. I think that's something we need to be looking and lobbying at a higher level than lands in terms of council planning generally rather than just in our ward.
Can I ask what's the issue about the ramp on Morwong?
So there was originally a boat ramp there. It's been used for a number of years for light craft. There has been some moves to say that ramp is unsafe and should be shut down. A lot of people use that ramp quite frequently for small craft and to get out. It depends. The sand at the moment you can, and there was a lot of problems with the sand after we had those storms and Cyclone Alfred, but it has evened out quite a lot. I was walking on it last weekend. It is an ongoing issue. We don't want it taken away like they took away the kayak stands down the other end without consulting us. I think we need to be very clear to council that they shouldn't be just taking things like that away from us.
Can I just ask why Lance would say it's not their responsibility to provide parking for Coochie, but they're providing parking?
Yes, they're not.
The state government.
It's a different level of government that's providing that parking. We need to look at a higher level than Lance, because we need to be careful to actually address the right level of government who've got some control over what it is that we're looking for, because council's attitude is not to do anything about that parking. Anything else that you think we should be talking to council about? Yes, Adair? I'd like to ask the Coochie Choir to come up and give a bit of an update on what's happening with the Coochie Choir.
Hi everyone, I'm Rosemary and Jane. We had a meeting on Monday with the Coochie Choir to decide our way forward. After a lot of discussion, it was decided to put it to a vote. The group decided that the choir would be disbanded. This is really happening because without a choir master, we've used up the grant. We've had 2 grants in the last 4 years. We've used those up. Of the small group that was still there, only 2 wanted to continue. So we had no choice but to close it down. But that's not to say the music is gone from the island. We're hoping to start monthly singing meetings in private homes. That is in the process of being organised. The first one is going to be on March the 9th. A very exciting thing is that the renowned Mindy Turner duo, the musical directors of Freedom Train, do singing workshops and are prepared to come over and do a singing, not only one, we've organised one for the 28th, 29th of May. It will be here in this hall on Friday afternoon and all day Saturday with a break for lunch. Hopefully we will then present whatever we've been working on at night, maybe at Coochie Viva with dinner. And so there's one plan for May, 28th, 29th. There's another one for August 7th, 8th, and November 11th, 12th. So hopefully you will come along to those, because Kath and Jay are just extraordinary. I've been to their workshops at places like the Dorrigo Folk Festival. They're at Woodford. They're very capable and they'll have us singing beautifully very quickly. We hope that you will come along. We also want to extend our thanks to Jose, our conductor for the last 2 years, for his great commitment to the choir, for his encouragement. I think as a choir we've developed skills and experience, and certainly there was enjoyment involved. And so we're very grateful to Jose for his service. And also we have to thank the Bendigo Bank, because they gave us the grant for the last couple of years that allowed us to proceed. We're also grateful to the Progress Association, because we don't have our own BSB number, and so we were able to fly under your banner. We're grateful to the Progress Association too. Look out for information about these monthly sing-alongs. It'll be lovely if you come along. We will just enjoy singing together. Thank you.
Denise, can I call upon you to give us an update about what's happening with Australia Post? Thank you. Can you hear me?
I'll announce that we're getting a new mailbox sometime towards the end of the week, and it's because it's falling apart, the current one. We've got a lot of problems with mail. But Australia Post wishes to thank, I've got written down here, I'll just have to put the glasses on. Australia Post wishes to thank the community for the feedback about the problems experienced last year. Acting on this information, it was necessary to replace the postal delivery person. He got the sack. But they never recovered the mail that was missing. There's a new delivery postal person being appointed, and he has a support person to guide him until he is confident to be left alone to deliver our mail. That's the new one that started this week. All other parcels must be placed in a safe place at the front of the property. The postman has been instructed to place any small parcels in the mailbox if there is space. If the parcel cannot be placed in a safe place, a card should be left in the letterbox directing the owner to pick the mail up at 390 Victoria Parade South, my place. Next door to Hayley. Or you can phone on 0413 176 990. I'll come and get it. This applies to registered mail as well if there's no one home to receive it. Australia Post wants to give a good, reliable service to the island and has taken steps to improve deliveries. They do apologise sincerely, but they can't be everywhere all the time, and we can't help who the contractor puts on as a subcontractor. If there's any further problems, you can ring the community mail agent, which is me, on 0413 176 990, and any mail complaints on, if you want to make a personal complaint without coming through me or both, it's 137678. That's the best I can offer at this stage, but it's not the management of Australia Post. It's not me. It's whoever the contractor puts on.
I'm just a bit concerned about the transference of risk and responsibility from Australia Post to, I've had some government documents that clearly were I haven't seen them in that period, and I know that there's dozens of people who haven't had their rates.
It's been ridiculous, and there's been rate notices, marriage certificates, all sorts of legal documents.
It's a huge risk.
I said to the organisational people, it's the fault of the contractor. He does not put in subcontractors that know how to speak English properly.
I think Australia Post needs to take responsibility.
It's the contractor's fault. He puts on the subcontractors.
Post is responsible for contracting with them in the first
I'm really, really upset about all this, and I think that fellow won't get his contract renewed.
My question, though, would be, what recourse is there for us who have lost our marriage certificates and rates?
I know. Ring the complaints number. That's all I can offer, because now I'm the messenger. I am quite aware of all the streets on the island. Most of the people, even your families, will send you something with the wrong address on it. They'll put Victoria Parade and it could be there or there. Usually I know who's who, and I've spoken to Gail Morgan. If ever there comes a time when I can't do it, she will do what I do. She and I know very well what's what everywhere. But it's very sad that the subcontractor he's putting on, through the contractor, they don't seem to be able to understand English. But the new one we've got this week apparently does.
May I ask when these new conditions started? I had a text message from Australia Post on both Thursday and Friday, just a couple of days ago, and the parcel hasn't arrived.
What actually happens is you get messages from the people you purchase from. It might be Star Trek or Australia Post, or even the people that you bought it from will say it arrived at Australia Post today. Your parcel has arrived and we've got delivery of it, but it might be that it arrived at Capalaba. And if it's there, but if it's not there, my job usually is to ring the Bay Island carriers and say, do you have a parcel for Mrs. Jones of that address? And they will say, yes, but we'll be delivering it Friday. And then I say, what time are you closing today? Then I ring the person up and I say, they're closing at such and such, but if you want to pick it up today, you're welcome, and they'll let you do it.
I went to the Australia Post website, as it directs you to, if you've got a complaint. It says that their post is being delivered.
When was it supposed to be delivered?
I got a message on Thursday and one on Friday.
Can you phone me on Monday if you don't get it? It depends on when it comes into the mail sorting post. If it comes in at 9 o'clock in the morning, he's gone by 8. So he can't deliver it. If it's Friday, you might get it Monday. If I can assist, I always will.
Is there any chance that we'll be able to get a post box delivery thing like is on that photograph, possibly? And that might alleviate a lot of problems?
It possibly will, but it will have to go on private land, and they probably want something for the cost of having it there. There's not enough people here to justify the cost of it. You can get one at Victoria Point. I'm doing what I do so that if a parcel comes for you and you don't get it, or you might be out, and he brings it to me and I have it, I'll let you come and get it morning, noon or night. You don't have to have hours with me, you can just come and get it. They're very adamant that they want parcels delivered to the front of the property. They do not go around the side or around the back. So if you get parcels a lot, put a box on your front steps or something like that and put for the postie leave parcels in here. But I doubt that will happen because they'd have to be pretty big for parcels to go in them too. I'm sorry, but that's how it is.
Maybe we could petition them for one or something.
Good luck. That's like asking the council for more parking.
Yes.
Thanks, Denise.
I have tried, I really have.
We're doing the shopping service now.
Ever since I've lived here, which is well over 20 years, we've had this same problem. If you order a parcel, I don't care who they tell you it's coming with, if you order a parcel and they say it's been sent to Pig's Meat and Gravy, the postmasters, it's 9 out of 10 times it will have gone to Bay Island Transport. If it gets there too late to be loaded up, and don't think that if it comes on Thursday that's early enough, it'll come the next Friday. I see people saying, here's a picture of a corrugated iron thing with some pallets and all the parcels are on there. That's Bay Island Transport, it's in Redland Bay. Is there some way we can tell all the newbies on the island that if the parcel comes, probably that's what it's going to happen to us, and if you don't like that, ring them up and ask them about it. They will tell you that they've got it. They're very helpful at Bay Island. Every other week I see, my parcel came, who's taken my parcel? Probably nobody. It's down at Bay Island Transport waiting for the next Friday. That's all.
Thank you, Denise. I'll just get the shopping service to do their update.
Good afternoon. My name's Betty Ann Billette. I'm the Treasurer of the Coochie Community Shopping Service. I'll be as fast as I can. I don't think there are too many people here who use the service with Coles, but I'll just give you a very quick update. Lance, I was hoping, would be here. He has been made aware of the current situation. We've had a little investigation and we don't know where it came from, where it started, but it has resulted in a 25-page document of what you can and can't do. If we adhere to all of this, there are now 6 checklists that have to be filled in. A monthly cleaning schedule, a maintenance schedule, a pre-operational checklist, an internal audit checklist, a temperature monitoring run sheet, and a time temperature product. We have to take the temperature of the food when it comes out of the Coles room. It's an awful lot of work for the volunteers. Lance wasn't aware that there had been some sort of an incident or inquiry. Very quickly on the fuel run, for those who might use that. Originally, we were told that we could carry 500 litres. I've been to different police stations, Insurance Officer Fair Trading, and we've since been notified that we can carry 250 litres, not 500. So we're trying to get clarification. So I went to the Queensland Fire Department. David Nolan was fantastic. He spent half a day for me. TMR, no one's got an answer. Even the police, so this is interesting. It's come down to 250 litres for one person personal use. This isn't one person personal use. We're not storing fuel. We're non-for-profit. We're not selling fuel. You are paying for the fuel that you get via an individual docket. We're going very short distances, so it's not like we're driving from here to Toowoomba and back. It's a 5K thing. We're in a 4-hour window. I still haven't got a definitive answer because everybody's coming back saying, oh, you probably should be able to do that. The next field day is Thursday the 19th of February. If we are locked into 250, we're going to have 2 utes running because the last run we did, we had 485 litres. So just underneath, and it's growing. It's been quite a successful service. So we'll keep you up to date. If we run the 2 utes, we're going to have to put up the $5 price for the barge though, because it'll be $110 to take the 2 utes over, and we can't run at a loss. We're not running to make a profit, but we need to cover that barge fee. I'll keep you in the loop. Thank you.
Denise, you want to talk about the gym?
Today we had the gym reopened after the cyclone that came through Alfred on the 8th of March. We had the Mayor and Lance Hewlett, our councillor, come over and jointly cut the ribbon using the same pair of scissors. It's all been repainted. We've got the roof fixed, we've got the door fixed, and where anyone who had a membership before Alfred and paid a year ahead, you can check with the Treasurer if you've got any problems. Our plan at a committee meeting was to not charge the members who paid beforehand that couldn't use the gym, so that from this year they can use the gym free because they paid last year. We just thought it was the right thing to do. It wasn't their fault and it wasn't our fault. Today we had the official reopening and it was really good because there was a lot of people there and it was op-shop day. While they were here, they went up and had a look at the Coast Care shed that's nearly finished. So they did a double job while they were here. It's just that it's been a whole year almost that we had to wait to get all this done. Insurances were really pushed to the limit. The council was no different. They were in touch with us all the time, telling us what was going on. It's lovely now. We would welcome anybody to come back and rejoin. If you had paid for the whole year before then, you will have free this year.
Next I want to talk about the Coochie bus, something near and dear to our hearts. We have been running the Coochie bus for 4 years now and we've had close on 75,000 passengers. Our bus service runs from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 5 days a week. Lately, we've been having a lot of problems with not having enough volunteers. We've had people who have been sick, people who are injured, people who have gone away on holidays, and this week we were close to having to cancel service. We are in need of more drivers. If we don't get more drivers, you're likely to see services cancelled. We were looking on Thursday and it looked like Friday was going to be cancelled because we had 2 shifts missing and a shift missing on Tuesday. Luckily, people have been able to change some of their arrangements and we've been able to fill it. But I am concerned that we just don't have enough drivers at the moment. I would encourage anybody to think about giving up 4 hours to do a shift maybe once a week or even be on standby so that when people are sick, we are actually able to find people to take over those shifts that need to be done. So it is a vital service to our community. We have 142 season passes out there. People are buying a 6-month season pass and using it regularly. The service is trying to raise enough money to replace our bus with an electric bus so that we won't be bringing fuel over all the time and we'll be able to carry more passengers. So it is something that is of benefit to the community. We need people to clean the bus regularly. We don't have any people to clean regularly and we're always looking for backups for things. So if you're able to help, please come and see myself or Russell after the meeting or Peter. We really do need some help. Otherwise we are going to have to be forced to say we're not going to be able to do certain shifts when we can't get people. Okay? As I said, help's needed. We really do need some help. And we've been very fortunate that we've been able to operate for 4 years and to not have a lot of interruption to service. We also do the pharmacy run. We've got a team of people led by Jane who every week make sure that the pharmacy is collected and available. We have issues with people forgetting to pick up their pharmacy, and the volunteers, along with the bus, often end up taking the drugs to people and delivering them. But it's another vital service for the community. And we thank Jane and her team for making sure that happens week in, week out. We'll have medical aids, and Paul Tuxworth generally looks after those. If he's not around, the bus has a key to the shed and can sign you out equipment at any time. If you need equipment delivered to your house because you don't have transport, the bus can bring it to your house, and when you're finished using it, they can pick it up and take it back. It's generally free of charge unless you're using a period of more than 6 weeks to use something, but that usually covers most people who are recovering. We have a variety of pieces of equipment. We run 5 markets a year. The next market is the Easter market, which will be held on Easter Saturday. There is some talk about wanting to go back to Sundays. We have an issue with volunteers. If we had people who would volunteer on a Sunday, we'd be able to make it a Sunday. But a lot of the people who are helping us either go to church or have other family commitments on a Sunday. So again, it's all about volunteers. Christmas events, we run the Christmas lights competition, the Christmas Eve on the beach, and the New Year's Eve on the beach, which is starting to build up some attendance. We had the Volunteers Lunch in December for the International Volunteers Day, and with the help of the Redlands City Council, we were able to take 70 people to lunch and give them a volunteers lunch bag to use. We wanted to recognise all the volunteers on the island because so many people on this island volunteer for multiple organisations. Coochie has been able to look after ourselves because of the wonderful volunteers we have. We actually have nearly twice the national average of people volunteering here on this island compared to Queensland and the whole of Australia. So well done everyone, Coochie. So we got 2 grants in the last 12 months. One was for the Volunteers Day lunch and the other was for first aid and manual handling. Now you would have seen an email that I sent out this week saying that we still had places available on the training course that we've been funded for. If you're interested in doing first aid and manual handling, follow those links or see me and I can help you get registered for that.
What do you have to do?
To volunteer as a bus driver, you have to have a licence, you have to be over 25, you need to have reasonable health to be driving around, you need to do induction and service with Russell and they can teach you exactly what has to be done. The shifts are generally a 4-hour shift, 7 to 11, 11 to 3 or 3 to 7. You need to be able to show that you can adequately drive the bus and safely do that. It's not a lot of onus on the drivers to do much else. We have training from time to time. We'd be very interested in anyone else that can help out. You can do the online component and then the practical here on the 14th at the Rec Club. If you need help with access to a computer, we can help you with that. We'd like to see as many people in the community take advantage of getting this first aid course because we don't have any first responders on Coochie. If someone needs help, we're likely to be the people to try and help them because we're here. The more people that have some first aid skills, the better off our community will be. I'd encourage anybody who has the time to do this course. It's fully funded and you'll get a certificate at the end of it. We thank Rita, who's been supporting us for some time now. Rita's been giving us $500 towards each market. We have to pay the council over $200 every time we hire the park to have the market. So that's 20 paid stalls that just pay for the hire of the park. We have to pay the council $750 to get an annual permit to actually hold the markets. So that is another 10 stalls to pay for that each time. And then we have to have public liability insurance and all these other things. We don't actually make money out of the markets. We do it as a community event and we thank Rita for helping us to be able to provide music at the markets and to do other activities. So thank you, Rita.
I said the council charged Progress all that every year, but they won't even give you extra bins for...
I know. And Amity Trader's been giving us a food truck to come over to the island for free. We wouldn't have the coffee van coming up if Amity Trader weren't sponsoring them. We've also had, I don't know, any other volunteers on the organisation on the island offering to have a meat raffle day over at Sharks, and we raised $577 towards the bus on that day. We had a donation by Carolyn and Leonie, who sold some second-hand clothing and gave us the proceeds for the new bus. I want to recognise the $225 they gave us. And Kerry Burton also gave us a $200 donation to Rita at the last markets, gave us the proceeds of the raffle that she ran, and it raised $579. Thank you, Rita, for your generosity. We're trying so hard to get to the level of money that we need to buy the new bus. We appreciate all of the assistance. Tidal Moon is also having an event, which is their finale, and they have generously agreed to give the proceeds of that event on the 28th of February to the bus. I would encourage everyone to consider going to that event that will be held here on the island. I thank Jose and Barbara for doing that for us, because that's another help. So thank you very much. Quarterly meetings. We have these meetings so that you can all talk to us, we can get some messages out to the community, and we appreciate you all coming. The next one is scheduled for the 2nd of May, and during that meeting we're going to talk more about the strategic planning meeting that we had in November. So there are some changes that, as part of our strategic planning, we were looking at making to our objectives and how we do things, and we want to involve everybody in that process. Absolutely. See Andrew, and we'll get you signed up. We encourage everyone to become members. One of the problems that we've been under attack, a number of our groups have been under attack by people making complaints, and the bus had to limit the access to the bus to members of Coochie Progress, and that has meant that more people have had to become members. But serendipitously, it's also meant that I can email more of you to tell you about what's going on and give you more direct access to what's happening. So hopefully that's a benefit that we're going to get out of that. Andrew is our treasurer, and Karen, who's not able to be today, is our secretary. We have Russell on the bus committee, along with Peter and myself, and we also have Catherine Bishop and our newest member, Judith. Judith is going to be helping us with our lobbying of the different levels of government. I work full-time, and lately I've got lots of commitments that have taken me outside of the island, and I need some help to talk to government more regularly about the issues affecting the island. Judith's agreed to help with that, and I thank her for joining us. Thank you. Okay, so has anybody got any issues they'd like to raise that we haven't raised already?
I just wanted to mention how we might push forward.
I'd just like to raise the issue of the $20 surcharge on the water facilities. Is that something that Progress could take forward on behalf of the residents?
We can look at what we can do about it. I have cancelled my subscription to Woolworths and told them that I will no longer be using their services at all. I'm not shopping Woolworths again on principle. They've done that to all of the islands, and it's really unfair. I understood Andrew was telling me that he thought Henry Pike was chasing that up.
Henry Pike's written to Woolies, Rebecca's written to Woolies, I think half the council have written to Woolies. They're either going to change their mind or they're not. And really, the people on Russell and Clay are making more noise about it. Do we really need to add it? You think
that could be one of the issues that we add to the list of things we're following up. Anything else anyone would like to add? Denise?
Is it true
that the surf lifesavers have asked the ambulance to vacate? I'm waiting to hear back from Rebecca about that.
Because this is not our land here. They were given that name by the state government through the council to have the lifesavers place go there. We had an island meeting down there, and they wanted it on the beach, and we were all against that. I really feel we've come to the point where do we need come in winter. They're only here for a month or two at Christmas, at the weekends and holidays. Do we need a health hub more than Lifesavers?
Yes.
And how can we get hold of the lease?
They've got with council.
Doesn't matter if they've got the lease. When's it up? We need to know for sure when it's up. It's more important that we have somewhere for our ambulance and somewhere for our health hub. It's what we need. We do not need the Lifesavers.
I think we can put that through to Rebecca. They don't participate in anything on the island.
We need the ambulance.
Yes.
We
can certainly follow that up.
They contribute nothing to the island.
But they do a good job. Yeah. Okay, we can take this conversation later and look at doing some polls, but certainly our need as an island is to have a place for the ambulance to go. We do need a health hub. We need a location to have doctors here on the island visiting.
8 days without power when Alfred was remembered.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need a base there.
Any other issues that people think that we should be looking at the moment? No? I'd really like to thank everybody for coming today and to contribute. It's really worthwhile for us to be able to talk about these issues and to get it out there. Thank you very much, everyone.